Hello. This is the third time I'm trying to film Moon in Virgo because this is such a perfectionistic placement, and I feel if I don't do my best for this, I will regret it. So first, let's be structured. I will try my best to look at the traits. So the moon represents the mother, your childhood, your innermost feelings, your subconscious, your private life. And Virgo represents small animals. It's ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, which is a very fast-moving planet. So the moon is not necessarily comfortable in Virgo. It also rules your digestive system. So these people are more sensitive in that area, even with Sun in Virgos. Oh my god, my voice. I'll try my best. Despite this quick energy, these people have the wisdom to be patient, methodical, and to take things step by step. So I am learning to do that. Right, I have my North Node there, so in this life I have to learn to go towards that. It's also mutable, so the mutable signs are Virgo, Pisces, Sag, and Gemini. Which is very interesting because when I think of Virgo, I think of a planner. I think of someone that has their own schedule and idea in the mind of what they want, but being mutable, it means they can be flexible too. So that's interesting. I will go through celebrities with Moon in Virgo later, and I'll try to be detailed about it. So I may mention their other placements because that affects the whole chart. So another point is they're very hardworking, and I see that in the celebrity charts, and they're very smart, but they don't necessarily flaunt this. Whereas the Sun there, maybe like, oh, I'm smarter, I know what I want. I've seen that in people, and I can say that because I feel like they'll be okay with that because they know, like, they have that confidence, right? Sun. Good night. I'm gonna wait. Okay, thanks. Oh, now I feel more comfortable to share. I don't really share my astrological insights with even people close to me, so my mother is the Virgo moon, and she has 4 planets in Virgo. Plus she's an earth sign, so she doesn't really believe in spirituality or such things. But depending on, like, if you have water in your chart, that may change things. Like if you have Cancer or Scorpio, you may be very interested, especially Pisces as well, more so than Cancer, I feel. These people are very independent, so they sometimes don't really like to ask for help or receive help. They may feel that it's a weakness, so moon is feeling, so it's more of the natural inclination that they have. Because Virgo and Pisces are the service oriented signs, and Pisces can represent very old elderly people. So Virgos may find themselves in positions where they take care of people who are vulnerable. And it also rules small animals. So you could, if you have the sun or midheaven there especially, one could see themselves taking care of small animals or in a veterinarian position. In the houses, which I'll discuss as I look through celebrity charts, that affects how the Virgo moon plays out. So in the first house, that may make them sensitive to their physical environment, you know, especially when it comes to their health. And in the 12th house, it's a very sensitive house. So a person might find themselves with a very critical mother and helpless in that situation and not knowing as a child, you know. Although in other houses, you know, Virgo is a sign of self-awareness in a sense where they pick themselves apart. They really analyze themselves, evaluate. They're very logical. If you want to have logical advice, go to a Virgo. Sun, Moon, or Venus. I feel like in Venus, Virgo shows up very strongly, although it's traditionally thought to be not a good placement because Pisces is exalted and Pisces is opposite, but there are positives and negatives to everything, so we have to take everything we watch and read with a pinch of salt, right? Because I filmed this is my third time filming, I'm not sure if I covered certain things. I should have made a list like a Virgo and ticked it off, but never mind. Another thing I want to point out is they can seem very cold, especially if the sun is an earth sign or an air sign. But they're not cold, because if they were cold, why would they want to help you? If they were cold, why would they care? And I feel that Moon and Virgo are often is so subconscious that they don't even realize it. So be gentle, you know. They may not even realize that they are picking you apart, you know, if that's how you feel. But that's not how they feel. They feel that that's just a reality of things. Another point is they are very health conscious. It says here, which I can see from certain actresses that needed to like really work on their health and weight and body to obtain a role, and they have the discipline to do that. So they have the ability to reach their optimal health, even Virgo suns, because the sun is more of like the ego, you know, like I'm this like health person, but moon is like a need. It's really your inherent need, and if you don't fulfill your moon sign in a healthy way, that's not good. It can really hurt you emotionally. Okay, so I'm gonna use the celebrity charts to try to cover as much as I can and try to give you like an extended video so that it's fair. So if you go on Google, right, the first person that comes up is Madonna, and she's a Leo. And I believe that with Leo and Virgo placements, whether it's Sun or Moon, or even Venus, it can make a person very insecure. For Leos, it's more like they care about what other people think, whereas for Virgos is more of that self-criticism, like so when they're alone, they probably already have that critique in their mind, whereas Leos need to be told because they already have that light within them. Okay, so I want to open Madonna's chart. Okay. I think we can see her insecurity through, for me, the high amount of work she has done to her face and body. But because she's a Leo, she expresses that in a very performative way. She has Pluto in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, both in the 12th house. So Mercury conjunct Pluto, so some of the things that she says or the way she presents herself may, especially conjunct the ascendant, people may not agree with it because Pluto is about the dark themes in society. And she doesn't see that because it's in the 12th. 12th is what you don't see, what people don't tell you, and you're just constantly in that pattern, you know, moon patterns especially. But she has Fortune protecting her and the moon in first. So she, with ascendant conjunct Pluto, she presents herself in a very intense, sexual and dark way. And because Pluto is in the 12th, she probably doesn't see that, you know. She may even disagree because for example, her midheaven is in Gemini, so she may even think, oh, I'm presenting myself in such a multifaceted way that it's not even sexual, it's just, it gives, like, it's more of a playful energy, but that's not what people see or think. The second person is Elon Musk, and that's not a surprise because to obtain that level of success that he has, in a way, you need to be very methodical and scientific. It's in the 3rd house, conjunct Pluto in the 3rd. So 3rd is about our immediate circle. I wonder what his upbringing was like, because Moon is the mother, right? So she might have been intense. So obviously he has very good some people may say no, but he's one of the richest, so he's very good at managing, you know. He can see the details and the loopholes in things. With Pluto there, third is also your communication, the way you talk, so he could be quite a hard pill to swallow when he could be quite controlling in his communication, and that's how he really feels because Moon is there. And it could bring about a fall in his image because third relates to like advertising and marketing, so he has been criticized for certain things, so but with Virgo there, he's able to manage it, I think. I think in a way, because he's a Cancer, he is very affected by his moon sign, but he goes more with his feelings because Sun is as you grow older and it's your conscious and it appears an older age, and I think after you mature the moon will appear less, but it will still be there. Sorry. But this Pluto is not very close if you look at the degrees, so the closer the degrees are, the more the conjunction will play out. It's very interesting. He's a founder of something called the Boring Company, and sometimes Virgos can be thought to be like very normal people, and that's what they actually like if you have the moon there. So anyway, another person I want to cover is Bella Hadid. She's a Virgo ascendant but moon in 12, so like I might have said this before, she probably needed a lot of therapy. 12th is not an easy house because unlike the 8th, you're not aware of certain things. Her moon is in conjunct Venus in 12th. That's not easy because that makes a person overgiving, overly sensitive, and it pushes a person to need a lot of alone time, whether that's healthy or not. And oftentimes people with 12th and 8th in the chart find themselves in situations where they need to heal from like therapy. But 8th is more able to dive into what's uncomfortable because that's what these people usually want and attract. And 8th is ruled by Scorpio, so it's a darker theme, but 12th is that vulnerability. With the first house conjunct the moon, you know, she's pushing to fame at a young age because of her mother. Venus is also feminine, so again the mother or the mother figure, but in her case the mom, as we see on TV. And you know, she's had a lot of work done to her face, and she even says in one interview that she regrets it. So that perfectionism really ate her up, you know. Another person is Nicki Minaj. So she portrays more of her Sagittarius side, which is loud. Where am I? Okay, I'm gonna close the other tabs. Okay. Because when you're famous, the sun is like your public, like the what people know you as, whereas the moon is for hidden. Unless you have 1st, 10th, or sometimes 11th. In the house 8. So 8th is about, one part of it is about sexuality. And it's not easy being in the moon 8th house because moon in Scorpio is thought to be debilitated. And the reason why is because as a child you're not supposed to go through all of these difficult situations. And because of very, very tough situations, she probably wants to be very private about, but it's scary because 8th is a scary house. But the way she probably goes about her sensuality is probably more methodical than we realize. 8th is also about shared finances, investments, or like if someone gives you, it's a giving and receiving energy. So she's probably really good, really methodical when it comes to investments, but because the moon is there, it goes up and down, but not as but because it's in Virgo, it's not as extreme as if it was to be in Scorpio or Uranus, like Aquarius, you know. That's interesting. I never knew that about her. Natalie Portman is one example of having to achieve the ideal body for a role. Black Swan, I believe. She has moon in 11th, and 11th usually points to not in the same way as 10th when it comes to fame, but I'm just going to charge my phone 1 second. So not in the same way. There's wires everywhere. When in Virgos be like, no. Okay. Charging. But 11th is more like, it's easier to get because it rules your luck in a way. So 10th, you sort of work towards it very consciously with a purpose, you know. 11th, it sort of comes to you. Natalie Portman, I think she might struggle with this a bit because her sun is square in Gemini. And that may lead to anxiety because both sun and moon are ruled by Mercury, so she probably has a lot of like anxious. Gemini is more of thoughts. Virgo, they can feel it in their physical body. So let me just Okay. No conjunctions there. Blake Lively. So she's a double Virgo, so she's known to be very grounded. That's her reputation. Very humble for her celebrity status. On the flip side, Jada Pinkett Smith is known to be a complicated character because she has Pluto and MC and Mercury conjunct her moon. So she talks about private things that are not meant to be shared. You know, she has a show where she talks about like her family life and all the problems. And Mercury wants to talk. Mercury wants to share. And Midheaven wants to portray that because it's conjunct her moon. But Pluto makes her talk about all the dark things. You know, manipulation is there. And she has a reputation for being manipulative. Some people think that, but it's probably very difficult for Jada because being a double Virgo, you're already so critical on yourself, and then other people like criticize you, and then I can't imagine how she feels, you know. Let me look at her chart. Yeah, so she shaved her head. Not to say that I don't want to stereotype people. Ascendant in Sag, conjunct Jupiter in the 12th and Neptune in the 12th. She doesn't in Sag. She's probably impulsive, but she probably doesn't see it. And Jupiter expands things. At 12th, you can't see it, right? So she probably doesn't see how. And Sag can be like self-righteous because it rules philosophy. That's what some astrologers say. That's the dark side. You know, there's a light and dark. I might be a bit too blunt here. I'm tired. Like this is like something I have to do because I really want to film this. So Carla Bruni. So Carla Bruni, the singer, and Lord, the singer, both have moon in Virgo, and if you listen to the music, it's very simplistic. There's not too many layers, there's not too many editing, and some people even commented that Lord's music felt a bit empty. And what's interesting is that Lord was known for her poetry when she was younger, so again, that Mercury, that intelligent mind playing out at a young age. And Carla Bruni has Jupiter in 3rd, Moon in 3rd, Pluto in 3rd, and Uranus in 4th. So there could be an instability there. I used to follow her IG until 3rd house wants to communicate, and she communicates dark themes, again Pluto, in a very erratic way. Uranus at a 29th degree, and Uranus represents technology, so it's very, very close to Pluto. It's just like literally 1 degree off. And Jupiter expands that. And I think being in retrograde, she keeps looking to the past. But Jupiter is also known as a protector, so despite her communicating these dark themes online, she still has people supporting her because of Jupiter. And she's probably very careful with what she says because she married a politician, right? So the mother may have been controlling, again with Pluto very close and very erratic with Uranus there. And with Uranus there, she probably wants to rationalize and make logical sense of feelings more so than other people. Especially when she's angry, because Mars is in Aquarius. Okay. I'm not gonna cover everyone because sometimes the chart changes and I'm like, is this the actual chart? Gordon Ramsay is another example. I hope I'm not boring you guys. He's a Scorpio with Virgo moon, same as PewDiePie, and these two people work very hard to get to where they are. And if you know Gordon, he's very particular, and being a Scorpio, when they express themselves, it can come across as quite a lot to some people. But ultimately, on the inside, Virgo, they're very, very grounded. Especially PewDiePie, I see that he hasn't let fame get to his head, you know. He is very careful with his public image, and he always apologizes when he feels that he's done something wrong. Now for Gordon, he is also born in a generation where Uranus and Pluto is in Virgo and Mars, so he has a lot of energy, and wherever Mars conjuncts, it creates aggression, energy, and in Virgo, discipline and direction. Not in the sense where they pursue relentlessly, but they know exactly what they want. His Uranus is exactly conjunct the moon, which explains his very sudden emotion, you know. And it's all in the 5th, which means he can be very dramatic, but ultimately it shows that he genuinely has fun and enjoys what he does. And probably his mother taught him all of this, because moon is the mother. It says here his mother and sister were nurses. And being a nurse, Virgo said this, and he probably saw that as a very erratic job where they probably had to answer to emergencies and all that. That makes a lot of sense, you know, he saw. And he also has multiple planets in Scorpio, so he's very precise, and his analysis plus intuition makes him on point. Okay. Serena Williams, Zoe Kravitz, another example of someone who has had to, you know, she was Catwoman in Batman, and she had to work very hard to lose that amount of weight. sorry. It's interesting because she has Lilith there, and in Batman she plays like a dark feminine character, which is very Lilith. Moon is in 11th, Lilith is in 12th, so she probably doesn't see the Lilith side of her, and it probably appears like in her dreams, you know. But she's managed to use that and channel that into a more positive energy. Sugar is Pisces Sun, Virgo Moon, so he's able to see the big picture and the details. If you know him, he's a savage, right? In BTS, he's known as the most savage member, but he's also the one who aims the highest. Like in interviews, he would say, "Oh, next time I go for Grammy," or like #1. So they're not afraid to aim high. Yeah, and I'm just gonna do a quick reading for those that need it. I'm feeling a bit tired now, but let's see. Emotional fulfillment. Okay. Magician. Why the emotional? King of Earth. Okay. Page of Air. So you guys are good at manifesting, good at your finances, and you're actually masters at that, but you don't show it or communicate it necessarily. And this card tells me you're in a good place. You know what you're doing. You don't need like a lot of advice from me, honestly. Like when I read a person's chart, I'm like, if they're Virgo and Scorpio in there, I'm like, okay, you know what you're doing. And anyway, if I tell you, you'll be like, Virgos will take the information in and Scorpio will follow their gut. So, but Virgos have trouble again receiving help. So okay, Magician is good. It shows that you know what you're doing. When you have tools given to you, you know how to use them, be it physical tools or tools that we can't see. King of Earth is a very strong earth, positive earth card. It shows that you have a lot of wisdom. The Pisces traditionally represents wisdom, but Virgo, the opposite sign, they study a lot, so they have that because they've done their research and because they analyze. It's not an understanding of life like Pisces kind of wisdom, but it's more of that intelligence that they have, and they don't necessarily feel that way all the time. But I think some of you are getting a lot of reassurance by watching this video with this card. Some of you want to start a new project, could be financial. Virgo. Positive affirmations. So with this Mercury sign, they can be sensitive to words. So do your affirmations. And that will actually affect the physical body. And speak from a place of love. pleasure. I'm not gonna show that card, it's a bit much. And take a walk. So being an earth sign, very connected to nature. Positive affirmation. So this is telling me some of you need to get more in your body. And this is a beauty ritual. Someone is connecting back to the artistic side, be tattoos, crystals, nail polish. Sometimes these people struggle with thinking of themselves as artistic, unless it's Libra there, but because they're so self-critical, they may have trouble expressing themselves through art. Or they may overthink it and hence become slow at it to put things out there. But it's saying these look like coins to me, so it's saying that someone could be getting a windfall or something. Yeah, wait for it to come to you. Something's like a new project is coming to you now. In my previous reading that I did for the video that I didn't upload, I also got a strength card because you guys are very good at your health and your physical workouts, you know, doing Pilates, bar, or just weights or whatever that interests you. So yeah, that was the video. I hope it was somewhat useful, and I am done filming this. Like, yeah, I hope the short reading was somewhat helpful, but I don't feel that Virgo energy is very connected to tarot. That's why I don't give a lot in this video. And yeah, see you in the next one.